So a meeting between Russia's Vladimir Putin and North Korea's Kim Jong-un took place in the Russian Far East a few days ago, and this was Kim Jong-un's first foreign visit since 2020 due to COVID issues. Now, Dmitry Peskov, who is the Russian equivalent of the press secretary, said that no official agreements were signed between the two countries, but honestly, if there were agreements signed, I doubt either country would admit it, as it would not be beneficial to disclose that information anyways. It could lead to more sanctions, etc. North Korea does have some things that Russia needs, though, and is in a position to help Russia, considering no one in the West really poses a threat to North Korea so long as they're not attacking other countries. You're not going to see South Korea crossing over the DMZ and invading North Korea. You're not going to see the United States and its Western allies attacking North Korea. So they're in a position where they can give equipment up. And judging by the tone of the visit, some of the military agreements may have been made under the table. Kim Jong-un has repeatedly said that he would support Russia in its endeavor in Ukraine. In return, Russia could help North Korea with nuclear and military technology aspirations, as well as food and energy resource needs, as that country's struggling once again in those realms. So what can North Korea deliver to the Russians? Well, according to U.S. intelligence, North Korea likely has millions of shells and missiles. Also, the London-based International Institute for Strategic Studies reported in 2023 that North Korea is armed with at least 21,000 artillery pieces, and most of these are Russian 122mm and 152mm variants. North Korea can also provide mortars and small arms munitions as well. Also, North Korea produces anti-tank weaponry compatible with Russian systems. So let's take a look at what some of these systems that they could be giving look like. So according to Global Firepower, which is a website that quantifies and ranks countries based on their combat power projection capability, North Korea ranks 5th in the world when it comes to the number of multiple launch rocket systems they field. Specifically, what you're looking at here is a North Korean KN-09M multiple launch rocket system with satellite-guided missiles. It has a range of 180 kilometers, which is further than the HIMARS. The North Koreans also field a satellite-guided KN-25 multiple launch rocket system, which has a range of 380 kilometers and a larger warhead. These two missile systems could significantly help Russia because Russia has a major shortage of long-range missiles, and this is hindering Russia's ability to conduct deep strikes into Ukrainian territory, as well as counter-battery fire against Ukrainian field artillery such as the M777, as well as some of the other Western artillery pieces that have been given to them by NATO. Finally, North Korea has a self-propelled artillery gun called the Koksan, and it fires a 170mm round, which is larger than the M777's 155mm round, and this self-propelled gun has a range of about 60 kilometers, which actually outranges Russia's self-propelled artillery named the Peony. But this Russian piece is also 203mm, so it is larger than the North Korean variant. So despite the fact that those weapons look big and scary, North Korea is even more of a parade military than Russia, where they put on a pretty facade and it conceals massive corruption, garbage development processes, as well as just a maintenance program that leads to an ever-aging and degrading equipment and fleet of vehicles and weapons. So it's difficult to say what part of these arsenals is actually usable. What is also unclear is the supply chain, logistics, and manning of the equipment. How are they going to be transferred over to Russia and then shipped across the Far East, given the rail issues that Russia's recently seen, as well as getting them to the front line, as well as who's going to man the equipment when the attrition rate of the trained soldiers has been pretty severe. And while most of these artillery pieces, other than the Koksan I showed you, are compatible with the Russian systems and training, the rockets and missiles are not. Those are homegrown systems with China's help, so there will need to be some training on those systems after their controls and manuals are translated from Korean to Russian. So in response to all of this, though, 2 days later, Vladimir Zelensky, president of Ukraine, met with South Korean Minister of Land Infrastructure and Transport Development, Won Hee-ryong, and the South Koreans pledged to give financial support totaling $2.3 billion to Ukraine for recovery and reconstruction efforts in that country. So somewhat of a tit for tat there, obviously not military support, although South Korea has provided some military aid to Ukraine. But we'll have to keep an eye on how this formation, this alliance, or whatever you want to call it, this partnership, or just a friendly visit between Russia and North Korea, how that plays out over time. Will they go the route? Will the North Koreans go the route of China and kind of stay silent while conducting some backroom deals to provide tacit support? Or will North Korea come forward and say, we're supporting Russia and we're giving them equipment, and give the middle finger to the world yet again, which they have done in the past? So we'll have to take a look and keep an eye on this whole situation.